Hi, I'm Softbeard the Pirate, and I'd like to welcome you to Softbeard Presents. Today we're going to talk a little bit about rifle cartridges and handgun cartridges, cartridge components and features, make-up ammunition. Some people mistakenly refer to them as bullets, but bullets are only a portion of the rifle or handgun cartridge. So we're going to talk about features and what makes up a cartridge. This is a cartridge case, the basic component of any cartridge. The cartridge case is the packaging which holds together the primer, powder, and bullet. There are several variations on cartridge cases. We have both straight-walled cases and tapered cases. The active portion of any given cartridge is the projectile, or the bullet. Here we have standard soft point rifle bullet and a standard hollow point handgun bullet. Providing ignition in any given cartridge is the primer. The primer is a small cup-like device. On the inside of the primer is an anvil and a small amount of explosive. When the primer is struck by a firing pin, it compresses the explosive, causing it to ignite. This ignition creates a flame. The flame is what ignites the powder. Inside the case is where we find the powder. The combination of bullet, powder, case, and primer is what makes up a single cartridge. Rifle cartridges come in a wide range of performance. Here we see two examples of the 243 Winchester. This fires a 6mm bullet. The case was developed from the 308 Winchester case, and they share the same head diameter and relative dimensions. But the shoulder has been sharpened to neck down to 6mm. Here we see the 30-06 Springfield. This is the most common hunting round in North America today and was introduced for military use in 1906 with a .30 caliber bullet. A big brother to the 30-06 is the 300 Winchester Magnum. The 300 Winchester Magnum is another example of a case developed from a larger caliber. This was originally a 375 H&H Magnum case with a belt. This case was neck down for a .30 caliber bullet and produces a very fast, flat shooting bullet. This produces much higher velocities than the 30-06, allowing kills at greater range with more ease. Another big brother is the 338 Winchester Magnum. In this case, again, the 375 H&H Magnum case has been neck down, sharpening the shoulder angle to 338 thousandths, or .338. This bullet is larger than the 300 Magnum and heavier. As such, it will travel slower, but will carry more momentum. Each bullet here has a different purpose, or each cartridge here has a different purpose. In this case, we see two examples of the 6mm. This has a large hollow point bullet that creates rapid expansion for small game, such as varmints and coyotes, whereas this bullet is a maximum performance TSX bullet that would be suitable for white-tailed deer. In the 30-06, we see a standard soft point. Standard soft point in the 30-06 is an excellent deer cartridge. You can also put a partition bullet or a stronger, hardier bullet such as the TSX into the 30-06 cartridge and use it for even larger game, such as moose or bears. The 300 Magnum wears the same soft point bullet that the 30-06 does, but this would be more suitable for long range. And then in the 338 Winchester Magnum, we have a tipped Barnes TSX bullet. This is a long-range, high-performance bullet meant for hardy game. Now I'd like to talk about head stamps. Here we see 3 heads on 3 different rounds. In each case, the head stamp designates the manufacturer and the cartridge. Here we see Winchester 357 Magnum. That tells us that this particular round was manufactured by Winchester in a 357 Magnum cartridge. In this case, we see 30-06 Springfield RP. This is a Remington manufactured 30-06 cartridge. And here we see 338 Winchester Magnum FC, or Federal Cartridge Company. All cartridges are stamped on the head with the designation of the cartridge itself and the manufacturer. If you're buying just components, the head stamp represents only who manufactured the case component. Let's now talk about case parts. In these 2 types of cases, we have straight-walled and taper-walled cases. The head of the case is at the back end of the case and contains a primer pocket. The primer pocket has a flash hole, which allows flash from the primer to go into the case and ignite the powder. The body of the case runs from the head to the shoulder. The shoulder is the area where the case diameter is reduced from body diameter to the neck diameter. The neck diameter holds the bullet. In the case of a straight-walled case, the case is simply a body with a head. Let's take a moment to talk about neck and cartridge differences. Here we see 2 .30 caliber cartridges, the 30-06 Springfield and the 300 Winchester Magnum. Here you can see marked differences in the case shoulders and in the length of the neck. Shorter necks allow greater case capacity for the unit length, but allow less room for the case to grip the bullet. Longer neck allows more room for the case to grip the bullet. In this case, you see a shallower angle in the neck leading up to the body in this shoulder area. The shallower angle in the shoulder area leads to smoother feeding. However, a steeper angle here means a wider body in the case. A wider, shorter case is thought to be more efficient, but a wider, shorter case tends not to feed as well as a long, well-tapered case. It's a balancing act. Now let's talk about case head style. Here we have a straight wall rimmed case. At the rear of the case, in the head area, it has a rim. The rim allows the cartridge to head space within the firearm, preventing it from seating too deeply or too closely to the rifling. Rimmed cases can be either straight-walled or tapered. Here we see the rimless cartridge. This is a tapered variant. There is no difference between the diameter here or here, which means that there is no rim for this cartridge to headspace against. Instead, it will headspace against either the cartridge mouth or the shoulder typically. There is another type of case, referred to as a rebated case, where this rear rim diameter is smaller than the body diameter. I do not have an example at this time to show you. This is a 4th style of case head, referred to as a belted case. In this case, a belt of additional material is present on the head of the round. This allows it to head space against this belt, providing proper depth seating. All 4 types of cases head space just fine, and there is no real advantage to one over the other than the fact that rimless cases tend to feed better through magazine rifles than anything else. Let's take a moment to look at hunting bullet anatomy. Here we have a standard soft point hunting bullet cut in half. As you can see, we have a lead core with a thin copper jacket. Here we have the aforementioned partition style bullet, where we have a forward lead core with a copper bridge and an aft lead core. These two bullets are your two most common factory-loaded hunting bullets. Other bullets are available from factory-loaded ammunition, but these two are just about the most common style. In the case of the standard bullet, on impact, the lead expands and mushrooms, forcing the copper jacket open. With the standard hunting bullet, there's nothing to stop it from expanding all the way down to the base and separating from the jacket. At normal velocities, it's very effective. It can be ineffective at very high velocities and at very low velocities. Partition bullet, by comparison, has the bridge in the center. This will expand up to the bridge. The bridge then ceases expansion and the rear lead core drives the bullet through with momentum. This bullet performs better at higher velocities than the standard hunting bullet. We are only going to talk about factory ammunition in this video. I will have a video later about reloading, hand loading, and the various components that that entails, including more information about powder, primer selection, and so forth. Today I really just want you to understand types of bullets, what makes up a cartridge, what components are in a cartridge, and how to identify a cartridge. Thank you again for watching us here at Softbeard Presents. I hope you learned something today and that this information is good and useful for you.